Today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple chicken curry. I'll be using a curry powder. The curry powder is my own particular variations of spices. I'm Russell Phipps and this is my channel Manna with Spice, where I show you my methods of cooking Southern Asian food. Start with, we have the lime and the chicken. Just cut the lime in half. I have a bowl here and just squeeze it over your hand just to make sure no pips go into the bowl. You actually only need half a lime. I'll just put that to the side. I have 3 breasts here, which is the equivalent of half a kilo, and I just want to cut it into chunks, and you don't want these to be too small because it will break down quite quickly when we cook this. And in here, and we just mix that in the lime. As I said, you can use half a lemon if you wish. We will leave that while we prepare the rest of the dish. 2 medium onions or 1 large one, which have been coarsely chopped. Now you want to prepare this up front because when you start to cook, this dish doesn't take that long. I cut the end off there, I cut the end off. I then hold that, turn it, and just cut it in half. These are just coarsely chopped. Well, first of all, we're actually going to broil or dry roast some of the spices. So you put the harder ones in first. In this case, I'm going to put some Casis in, about 5 centimetres, 1 Black Cardamon, a couple of Cloves, 3 Green Cardamons. Now, we don't want it to be too hot or burn, so we've got to be careful. And I can now smell the actual cloves. A tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of oil. And as soon as the spices start to sizzle, as they are now, I add all of the onion. And we just now want to caramelise them. It's actually only taken 3 minutes. So it's still on high heat. Add 1/4 teaspoon of fenugreek. Stir that. Wait for the aroma of the fenugreek to come up. Half a can of tomatoes. Caramelise the onion and the tomatoes so the sweetness starts to come out of it and the oils just start to separate from the tomato. I should imagine this is going to take about 2 to 3 minutes. Add a tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. Mix that in, and we just want to get the rawness of the ginger and garlic off this dish. Right, that is actually 7 minutes since I started cooking. I'm now going to add the curry powder. As I say, this is my curry powder, and if you'd like to know what's in this curry powder, then please leave a comment in the description and I'll get back to you. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons. Mix that, and I'm going to turn the heat right down. And the reason I've turned the heat down is because the curry powder will burn very easily if you leave it too high. The rawness of that is now gone, so we add the chicken. And you just put all the chicken in, stir it. I'm going to cover the chicken in the spices on low heat. I'm now going to turn the heat back up to high, and I'm going to seal the chicken. I say this is a very quick homemade chicken curry. I'm just going to give that another minute and just make sure the meat is sealed. You notice I'm not adding any other juices to this because when the lid goes on and I turn it down, there should be enough juices within the chicken for it to make a thick masala. Now I'm only going to put 1/2 teaspoon of salt on this because I'm not a great fan of salt myself. You notice I put it in on the high heat after it has just sealed the meat. This is because it will actually help draw the moisture out of that meat. Turn it down, put the lid on. I'll leave this for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes have passed. I have stirred this occasionally, and as you can see, you've actually got quite a thick masala here. If you find it is too dry, just add a little hot water, not cold, because you don't want to bring the temperature down. I'm just going to check. These should be about half cooked. And they are, because you don't want to cook it too much. I'm now going to add a sesame and cashew nut paste, which I made earlier. And I actually froze these. I literally made a paste with a tiny bit of water and I put them into ice cubes. So I've got about 5 tablespoons of that here. Put that in, and I'll probably have to add some water to this. I'm going to increase the heat, get a little bit of water, and now what we want to do is get a very thick masala with this paste, and we just slowly cook everything in it. Now this is not too hot, but if it was, you could actually add some curd or yogurt to this. I'm actually just going to make sure all the paste is broken down. Let's just test it. Half a teaspoon of chili powder. Again, just stir that in. Let's test it again. That's better. It's still a little bit salty, but I can't change that. Very, very slight tang. Right, turn that off. Put the lid on, and I'm going to leave that for 5 minutes. Just for your information though, just looking at that whole dish to there has taken 25 minutes. So as I said, you can actually make this dish in half an hour. One Manna with spice, homemade chicken and cashew nut curry. Sprinkle with a little coriander leaves, a pinch of garam masala, and finally a few drops of lime juice. If you've enjoyed this recipe, give it a go and let me know what you think in the comments. I'll put a couple of other videos up that I think you might be interested in that I have on my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you again for watching.